Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I am filming a Q&A because while I didn't know any other videos to film, and also I have never filmed a Q&A before, but I thought why not just do it. So I asked first on Twitter because I assumed that's where people would answer me. Then no one answered me except like one person a lot later, which I'm very grateful for. And then I went on Instagram and YouTube. And YouTube actually, you guys showed up. And I was like, dang. I mean, obviously YouTube is like my biggest platform. So it makes sense. I should have just, gone there initially. But I didn't think that far. I'm probably gonna answer all the questions because I didn't get that many. So I think we would just go through all of them, and then if there are like some repetible ones, then we won't do those. Okay, let's just do this. So first we have Danny, who asked me, if you could live anywhere else for 1 year, where would you go and why? Also the prettiest books you own. Okay, I will probably go to Japan, even though I already lived there for a year, but I will want to go there again because I loved it, and I would really love to like live there permanently, but I know that's not gonna probably happen, but I would go there again. If I can't choose Japan again, since I technically already lived there for a year, I will go to Korea because, well, I have friends there and like I just want to live there too because it seems like a great country with good food, great culture, etc. So like I would choose either of those countries if I could. And my previous books I own, I actually think before this I have posted just a video with all the previous books I own. But if we're going to choose one of those, it would probably be my Star Sea Deluxe Edition because it is stunning. So here it is, absolutely stunning, and I just like love it a lot. And I was gonna say die for it, which seems a bit dramatic, but yeah, I show it off properly in another video and the previous books I own video, so there's that. This is maybe too personal, but I'm just curious what your job is since you read so much at work. Okay, so that is like the first part of the question. This is from Lisa. And I just work at the bingo part-time. I don't have a proper adult job, and there's a lot of dead time there, so I just like kind of sit there and read because like when people don't buy shit and the games just go, I just have to sit there. So I just read a lot at work, like a lot. And I also have a extra job at a bookstore. And then I don't get to read a lot because then I actually have to do stuff. But yeah, that's my job. It's not too personal. It's all fine. And it says, I'd also love to maybe hear about some Norwegian children's book that you grew up with. I mean, there is different ones. I don't know if they're Norwegian ones though. Like we read a lot of like fairy tales. Asbjørnsen and Mo. I don't know. I don't think they have no English names. They're like where people went around Norway back in their old days, and they collected lots of fairy tales, and then they all became like classic Norwegian fairy tales. Like it's like follows a lot of this dude called Askeladden, and it just goes around. There's like a lot of stories with him, like many different versions. So there's, for example, one where he challenges this troll, and then the troll's gonna kill him, and then he's like, if I can out eat you, then you can't kill me. And then like they eat and eat and eat, and then takes all his food down his backpack and has taken like a hole in it, and then the giant doesn't notice, and then like he's always like smart and gets out of these situations, and there's always like challenges where he can win the princess of the kingdom and half the kingdom and stuff. But yeah, that's like very Norwegian fairy tales that most kids grow up with. We also read Grimm, the nice versions, and then like of course other translated work, and then of course other Norwegian books that I can't think of right now, but like that's like the classic ones. And I love them a lot, so I had a great time with them. Oh, I don't know anything in English. Anne-Kat. Vesli, who is a Norwegian author, and she wrote these books called Mamma og de åtte ungene, which is also translated to Grandma and the 8 kids. She has 8 grandkids. They all have a name started with M, and I love those. Like, they are amazing. And I love them. I read them all in audiobook, and it was like the most coziest time ever. So they are a really great children's book. I don't know if they're translated anything, but they are amazing. And I probably have more, like there are more that I really love. Oh my god, this could be like a whole video, I just realized. Thank you for the idea. Maybe that will become. If someone is interested in me talking about more Norwegian children's books I read, I would try to talk about it more properly. Are you ever in a slump? It seems like you never started to read a lot, but if you have been in a slump in the past, what books have got you out of it? I don't slump much anymore. I have overcome the reading slumps. If I feel slumpy, I might read like 10 pages anyway to keep my reading streak up. But I always get back to it and try to catch up on the pages because I am I was considered an insane reader sometimes. But I did slump a lot in 2014 and 15, this is now many years ago. But I literally only read, I think, 25 books one year and 30 the next. And I know that that seems like a lot for people, but I usually read like 100 plus, and then like I went down because I was in high school. I would say I was pretty depressed, but I just didn't read anymore because I just watched TV shows because I didn't have the energy to read almost at all. And then it was 2016, I finally got back into reading again. But before that, I had periods where I didn't read at all and I didn't read a lot. Like until 2006 and 2017 came, I didn't read as much as I do now. How did I get out of it? So no, I'm not in the slump now. And I don't think I will be, to be honest. But how do I get out of it? I just found a book I was really interested in. But that didn't always help me because like I read Gone Girl in that period. And I think I used like 2 months on it. Because I just didn't read. So it didn't help me, even though I was very intrigued. And then always when I get to a certain point in the book, like I read half for 2 months. And then always when I came to the last part that was really interesting, I could read it in like one day. But I can't come up with like a good book that got me out of it. One time, I think in 8th grade, when I was like 13, I read Oliver Twist. And then I used 8 months on it, where I didn't read it in at all. And then, like, I hated it. And then, like, suddenly I read, like, over half the book in, like, 3 days because suddenly I loved it. So that was weird. So I don't know. I don't have an answer for this. I can't think of a book that has got me out of it. The book made me slump, but then the book also saved me from it. Okay, these questions are going terribly, but it's fine. Do you have a manga recommendation for someone who just started to properly collect manga? Well, we are in my manga shelf, and I would recommend to death Spy Family. If I can get it out. Can you not stay away? And this is like so good, and I think it could be for everyone. And it's basically about this spy called Twilight. And then he needs an undercover family to take down this operation. So he gets a wife who is an assassin and a kid who is a telepath. But he doesn't know that the kid is a telepath. He doesn't know his wife is an assassin. Neither does the wife know. The only one who knows everything is the kid because he can read their minds. And it's just hilarious, like the different situation they come into. It's just the best thing. This family is like everything for me. And like every story is kind of like a bit of a standalone why they all hang out together, and it's just amazing. So I really recommend this one, and it's still ongoing, but it's like so worth it. I would basically recommend anything here, but I think Spy Family is like so great, where I think anyone could enjoy it. I have more, but we are just gonna recommend that one and then move on. Taina asked me questions. What languages do you most want to learn? Korean, let's be honest, because I want to understand what BTS is saying. But yeah, actually like Korean, and then actually learn Japanese fluently because I did learn that and now I've forgotten everything. And that's like all languages I care about right now. So yeah, maybe Chinese I was gonna say, but you know, I want to learn Chinese doesn't say anything because the different languages within the Chinese, you can just say Chinese, but yeah, which I didn't know before, but yeah. Another questions from Taina. What's your favorite kind of tea? Another 3 questions. Haha, lots. Okay. Favorite kind of tea. I don't drink that much tea, but if I do like maybe some spicy tea or just some fruit tea, but I don't drink tea really. I just drink other shit drinks instead. And for the other tea question, well, I do love drama, but also it's like, can people just chill down sometimes? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that because I don't know what my favorite kind of tea is. Do you have a reading routine, YouTube routine? Okay, so I don't. That's might be why I'm so terrible. I was joking. My reading routine is literally read every day, no matter what it is, no matter how much. I usually have a goal every day, but like if I don't feel like it, I could read like 10 pages. And then I usually, if I'm going to work, I will say that I'm gonna do the reading at work, and I always do. If I'm at home, I do struggle a bit finding out what to read, maybe in the mornings or maybe very late at night, usually not in the middle of the day. But there's no routine to it, it's just I do it when I don't feel lazy. And my YouTube routine is basically, oh shit, I should film today. What should I film? Oh no, I don't have anything to film, and then I panic. And then I maybe end up not filming, but sometimes I do know what I'm gonna film, and then it usually goes better, so that's a good time. But yeah, and then I usually end up editing it and uploading it the same day, but sometimes I do pre-film a bit if I'm smart, and then I actually manage to like have a few days to think about it. But I usually edit and upload within the same day because that's when I know I need to edit, kind of. Yeah. And then the last questions on YouTube was, how many languages can you speak? So I speak Norwegian, obviously. I speak English, hopefully well enough for you to understand me. And then I could speak some Japanese once upon a time. I don't know how well that is going. That is all the ones I could speak. Norwegians can understand Danish people and Swedish people, so we all can understand each other, but I can't speak the languages, but we can talk to each other. Once upon a time I also had German and French in school, but I can't remember anything of that, so that doesn't really count. That's all. Let's go to Instagram, where I have a few questions. So we have Nikki, who asked me, how many books do you think you will read in your entire life? I can actually calculate this. I will try. How old am I? Wait. So I think I already read a few thousand books. I think like I basically almost added every book I read on Goodreads, which is 1,500. But I think, you know, you can't calculate that. So I think maybe if I keep reading as much as I do now, I would read much more than this. But I think in some later years in my life, I'll probably slow down because then life will catch up with me. That will be boring. I have something in my eye and it was very annoying. But let's say I read 150 books a year, which I think is doable until, you know, I get a full-time job and get depressed, who knows. I think maybe around 10,000 books I think I could read in my lifetime, which is not a lot, so it's actually kind of sad. It would be kind of cool if I could read like 20,000 or just like 100,000. But we all know that's not gonna happen. But yeah, maybe 10,000 books altogether. Thank you, Nikki, for making me do math. Love you. And then someone else asked me, what is the prettiest bookstore you ever visited? So I would say visited that many bookstores. Like while I have been and visited many holiday places, I usually don't go to the bookstore. And then in Norway, we don't really have pretty bookstores. They're like not like big and nice as like in other places, even though like I love them, but like they're not like beautiful in a way. But the prettiest and my favorite is probably the one that I visited when I was in Japan. I lived in Hakodate, and there was this big bookstore called Tsutaya, and it was beautiful, but it was basically like loads of stores inside of it, and there was books, and it was just like a generally beautiful, I felt like a mall, but just a general beautiful building. But hopefully I will get to visit many more bookstores in the future that like are stunning in a way, because I haven't like visited like the huge nice bookstores you see other people visit other places. But yeah, that's probably my favorite. And then Erica asked me a question, even though I just said to her to do it because I want to check how it was. Doesn't really count. She just wrote black or purple, and I obviously purple, always, but black is my second color. Now Cecilia asked me, when are you coming to visit me? I don't know, Cecilia. When are you coming to visit me? That's what I gotta answer with, because you're far away, you know? Gotta come here. And then a lot of more questions from Tina. Minecraft, let's play when? You want me to make a video where I play Minecraft, because the only thing I do when I play Minecraft is go down in a mine and I don't come up again until all my tools are ruined or my backpack is full. Because I only literally listen to audiobook while playing Minecraft, and then I just sit there and I press a key, and it's the most nice thing. And then I follow builds on YouTube to build nice houses. That's the only thing I do. It will be extremely boring to watch me do that. Scenario: a friend wants to borrow your favorite book. Which edition do you lend them? Well, I wouldn't actually borrow to any friends. Almost. I will borrow to Erica maybe. Or if someone was like visiting me, I will let them read my book, but I wouldn't let them bring it with them. What's my even favorite book? My favorite book is probably Jade City. And I had the Lumicro edition and the normal edition. So I would borrow them the normal edition and it will be fine. Also, I do actually have I Remember Jade City on Kindle. So maybe I would just be like, can you read on Kindle? Because then I wouldn't be scared of the edition, you know? What music do you like besides K-pop? I mostly just listen to BTS, by the way, not like general K-pop because I'm trash, but maybe like Bo Burnham. I listen to a lot of him lately, and then Disney music, and then I used to be the biggest fan of Alexander Rybak, so I listen a lot to him, but I don't really listen to much different stuff. And League of Legends music, like the soundtracks and stuff, they're great. I had a lot of options apparently, and anime intros and outros. Okay, I'm gonna stop. And then just ask me a book rec inspired by your favorite BTS song. Go go go. Oh my god. So my favorite BTS song is Best of Me, and I don't know a book that would fit that. Like, you got the Best of Me, so it needs to be something like soulmatey, I feel like. But now I can't remember a single book that has that. The vibes though is like, it's really like beautiful, romantic, but also it could be platonic in a way. Maybe I'm stretching this. Maybe an Ember and Ashes by Sabbath here, because here Elias and Laya, you know, bring out the best of each other. Just like how one of them could sing to the other this song, definitely. I could see that. So there's a bird outside my window, it's very disturbing. Maybe this one. I will recommend this also a lot. It's one of my favorite books of all time. And it's set in this place called Empire, where scholars are enslaved, and Laya is a scholar, her family's murdered, her brother gets into prison. To get him out of prison, she needs to work with the resistance and spy on this person called the commandant, which is like the leader of the emperor's army. It's very dangerous for her. And then we have Elias, who's a mask, who's like the most elite soldiers in the empire, but he doesn't want to be one, and their paths cross. And I love it so much. Oh god, I'm gonna read it now. Okay, so that was all the questions for Instagram. And then I have a few on Twitter. It was like one person or something, like a bunch. I'm like, thank you. When did you start reading? When I was very little, I went to the library with my mom a lot, and my passion for reading ensued. And I remember I like really quickly like read more than everyone else. Like they were just reading children's shit, and I was just like, I want to just read. I didn't read like fast like I do now, Jesus. So I don't know, like before I started school, a long time. Which book gave you the passion to read? Okay, so this actually I have the answer to. Now I can't remember where. Actually, I made a video about this once and then I never posted it. Like books that got me into reading, not just got me into reading, but like books I used to read. And then I had a whole story about this one, but I never posted that. I need to climb. Okay, I'm actually very sad now because I can't find a book. I know I have it somewhere in my room, but I have hidden it away and I don't know where. It's a really ugly book anyway. But it's basically my sister was in this book club because my parents wanted her to read more. Rude that they didn't sign me up in a book club, but I guess I was too young. Either way. And then she got like these books every month sent in this, you know, like a subscription box, but it wasn't like a fancy one like we have one now. And in it, she got this one book where it was split in two parts. It was like one book, but two books in one. And then I borrowed it from her, and I remember this was the first time this ever happened to me. Like I had read other books and was entertained by them, but we were at like my family's cabin. And then I remember everyone was like watching TV, which is what I usually did. But I was reading this book and I could not stop reading. So I went into like another room and I literally sat there for like however long that took me to finish that book. And I had never felt so invested in the story before. And I was just like literally at that moment, I also wanted to be an author because I wanted to give that feeling that I had read to other people. Like that was like the moment that happened to me, and it was like the moment like I realized how much I adored reading and loved it to death. It's not probably a book I would love now. I think I reread it years later and I didn't love it as much either, but at the time I had never read a book like it. And I think the first part is actually about a girl who's sick and then I think she dies. And then the second part is actually a fake dating trope. That is kind of funny because I think a girl says that she has a boyfriend and then that dude shows up because it was like someone she knew, and then he has to pretend to be her boyfriend, and then, you know, they end up actually falling for each other. That's actually funny because that's so normal thing that people talk about fake dating trope now. I remember I loved the first part more. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm enjoying it much now, but it's really interesting that I remember that so well, and I always will. Next question. If you had to suggest one book or series or author to everyone, what would that be? So Jade City by Fonda Lee. I feel like the video I just filmed before this, I also talked about Jade City. It's a bit funny, but basically Jade City by Fonda Lee. I want everyone to read it. I made 2 people read it. They didn't like it, but I just want everyone to read it because at least the author can get money, you know. So it's set on this island called Kakon, the only place in the world that produces this substance called jade, which can give you enhanced powers, especially the people who like form the island that can use this without getting like addicted, etc. And then the island is controlled by 2 clans. We have the Mountain Clan and the No P Clan. We follow the No P Clan, who is controlled by the Cole family. It's the most precious thing. I love them so much. I would die for this book. I want everyone to read it. I want to read the whole series again. I would just die for them. It will either be this or probably Poppy War. Do you want to write a book in the future? Yes, I did actually say that in my last question. I am currently planning on writing a book or several. But is it happening? No, but it will happen eventually. You know, the dream is to be an author, but I also know how dang difficult that is. So, life. And then a plan in general for the future. Oh god. Plans, what is that? Non-plans. I need to figure out what to do in my life because I want to be an author / YouTuber, creator, whatever, but we all know that that is like the hardest thing to ever happen. And then I need to figure out what to do in my life, like in general. Like, do I want to get a job, like a proper job, so I can live off it? Do I want to go back to studies? Who knows? I really literally cannot figure this out. This is like the question of the whole year and my whole life. But I will figure it out. Probably not. I would probably just cry about it again, but it's fine. I literally just want to get paid to read. That's all I want in my life. And I know, oh yeah, you can work in publishing, blah, blah, blah. It's not easy, okay? Like, you vaguely get something that maybe has to do with books, and then you can maybe perhaps get a job in publishing. It's like, yeah, I don't even know. I actually have no plans. My plan is to write a book and get super rich, because that's just gonna happen off the bat, and then also do YouTube and get rich from that too, and then I will go and live in Japan and be happy there forever. That is my current plans. It's totally gonna work out, so yay. But that was actually all the questions. Thank you everyone for sending them in. This video became a bit longer than I thought it would be. I hope I answered decently to them. It was kind of fun, you know, I never do this, so I thought why not once. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed, and you will see me soon in a new video. Leave a question mark emoji down below if you enjoyed, and you will see me soon. Bye!